Okay, so let's do a budget street gun review. And first off, let me define what street gun is. At least my definition of a street gun. Basically, it's an inexpensive, basic firearm that you take and use every day. Conceal carry, home defense, what have you. Something that you don't really worry about customizing. It's easy to shoot, easy to feed, and it's basically like the Toyota Corolla of handguns. If you guys and gals know what I'm talking about, think about like all of the late 80s to early mid 90s sedans that you see on the road. They're just there. They're running down the road, everything works fine on them. They're still just kicking right along, but they're not fancy in any sense. The people that own them just change the oil out and put gas in it and do whatever they have to do, what little maintenance is required, and they just run it. So this is kind of the handgun version, I think. At least one of the handgun versions. It's just a basic gun that you just carry. You don't worry about it too much. So this gun right here, FMK Model 40C1. FMK has a kind of a 50-50 reputation. Some people hate them, some people love them. I know the 9mm had some issues. The earlier models had some issues. I can't speak to the 9mm. I have the 40 caliber version here, so I'm going to speak to that. This particular one for me, and this is what this review is based off of. I'm trying to base my reviews off of the particular gun in front of me. I can't really speak for the company so much. And honestly, I don't think any YouTuber out here can speak for a company, because you can have a gun that works extremely well and the guy right across the way from you buys the next gun in line and it could suck. It even happens with Glocks, 1911s, XDs, all the real popular, well-made handguns out there. There are lemons. So I can't really speak for the company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to the gun, because that's what I have sitting in front of me. So in any case, this is the 40 caliber FMK. 10 round magazine capacity plus 1 in the chamber. So I can have a total of 11 rounds in the gun on tap. And that's pretty much all I get. It's decent. It's not the best, considering this is the same size as a Glock 23. Glock 23s, you can have 14 rounds max. So it's not bad, but it's certainly not the best. It does ship with 2 magazines, so that's good. You get a reload. That's always a good thing. The gun itself, let me pick this up here just to kind of show you. Again, it's a striker-fired gun. Very, very similar to Glocks. It took a lot of inspiration from the Glocks. And that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Glocks work, so hey, more power to you. These guys are in the business of making money just like any other gun manufacturer, so more power to them. But the gun itself, it has the standard striker-fired type trigger that we all know and love from Glocks, Smith & Wesson, XDs, all that good stuff. It does have a 7 to 8 pound trigger pull, right around that area, maybe even possibly a 9 pound. But it doesn't feel that bad. It's not like a Sigma or anything like that. The reset is pretty tactile. There's a little bit of mush in the trigger, but it's certainly serviceable. It's a good self-defense trigger. Has an oversized slide lock slide release, which isn't bad. Does have finger grooves. It does have a rubberized rear palm swell. This particular one does, which fits my hand nice. I have big hands and kind of stubby fingers, so this gun fits very well, considering it's not that big of a gun. I have the Glock style sights on here, but it does have 3 dots that come with it. You just drift this out and take this one out, and then you can throw those on. They are polymer, so don't do too many one-handed malfunction drills off of a table or something, because polymer breaks. It is what it is. They are constructed good, so I think it'll handle a little bit. Just don't make it a habit. From what I understand, you can use aftermarket Glock 19 and 23 sights. So maybe throwing some night sights on here is something I'll do in the future. I don't know. But just something to keep in mind. The magazine release on here is pretty good. It sticks out a little bit on the side of the stocks here, but that's okay. It doesn't catch on anything. There's no inadvertent releases of the magazine as you carry. I've carried this for a little bit and I've had no issues. It's not ambidextrous, so for you lefties out there, sorry about that. Does have a rail, again, so you can fit your lights, lasers, all that cool guy stuff on there if you want. The machine work on it is a little bit to be desired, and that's maybe how they wanted it to be. But you can see the tool marks across the slide. The top looks pretty good, but I'll go to this side here. You can see the machining marks, and then you can see where the slide grooves. It looks like they didn't completely finish a couple sets, and there's just a lot of tooling marks. So, and it's the same on the inside. The function of the gun is still pretty smooth, but it's just not a finished product, in my opinion, like it should be. These grooves kind of suck. They really don't do much, in my opinion, for providing a grip. So maybe that could be something that could be improved. But overall, it's decent. I look at this particular gun as just a gun that is just a utility gun, and it's certainly not a pretty gun in any aspect. So it is what it is. I kind of wish there was better finishing on this, but that's okay because this is just a tool. It's just something I'm going to carry. With that said, again, it's still pretty smooth in operation. So, one thing about this gun that I don't like is all this stuff. Now, FMK, they have different packages. You can even get the Bill of Rights engraved on these things. And if that's your thing, that's cool. But I actually bought this gun in spite of this stuff. This is pretty sparsely marked in comparison to some of the other models out there. But it says, what? Proudly American here. Thank you, Armed Forces here. When we got Freedom, Liberty right here on the magazine, it says E Pluribus Unum on it. So I get it. It's a patriotic company, and that's fine. But I think it's a little bit much. That's just my opinion on it. If I had my way, I'd rather have this gun without any of this on there. Just a basic blank gun. I don't mind the logo here, FMK. Underneath the slide lock, slide release, it shows it was made in Placentia, California, wherever that is. And that's fine. Got made in USA right here, that's fine. But all this other stuff, it's a bit much. So it is what it is, it's just my preference. Overall operation of this gun. This particular gun shoots really good. The trigger I'm getting used to a little bit because it's a little bit heavier pull than what I'm used to, but it still shoots pretty good. It's a little bit snappy because it's a .40 caliber, but still easily controllable. As I shoot it more, it'll just be that much more controllable as I get more used to it. The reloads are pretty simple. I do like the fact that it has the oversized slide lock, slide release. It's an option for reloading. I know the big thing is, nope, you're supposed to use overhand to reload a gun, but it's nice to have that option in case you need to. You can just drop the slide. It's a part of the gun, and why not utilize that part? Accuracy is about average. The rifling is decent on this gun. The internals are rough, just like on the machine work on the outside. The machine work on the internals are a little bit rough, but it works. Everything works on it. Disassembly is just like a Glock. I'm not really going to take it apart here because there's really no surprise there. So this thing, it's right around $300. And I would say about $300 or less is where I would get into this gun. If you see them on sale for anything more than $300, I think you can get a better option. But if you can find one like at a pawn shop or something for cheaper, it's not a bad deal in my opinion. So this particular gun works really good for me. I like this particular gun. One thing to note, the magazines are kind of molded right here, and there's a little bit of a divot, so if I have to rip a magazine out for whatever reason, I can do so. You can see how easy the magazines are to insert with a full 10 rounds. You don't have to force it in there. That's a plus in my opinion. Holsters, if you have holsters that fit Glock 19s, Glock 23s, this will pretty much fit because it's pretty much the same size. So that's kind of a plus. This is just a Galco, used Galco holster, and it fits just fine in there. So overall, if the gun, again, if it's less than $300 and you're looking at it, it might be a good buy. I would inspect it quite carefully, given FMK seems to be kind of across the board between good and bad reviews. Again, I'm only speaking on this particular gun. This particular one works good for me. I'm carrying it now as a carry conceal, and to me, it's just a gun that I can carry. If it gets scratched, I don't care. If it gets a little surface rust, I don't care. It's something that I can use. So, with that said, I'll stop the video. If you guys have experienced good or bad with this company, feel free to let me know. One thing I can't speak to either is the warranty. As far as customer service and warranty work and stuff like that, I don't have any experience with that. So if you guys or gals have any firsthand experience, be sure to chime in, because I think that's really important. Make sure to leave a comment so other people can read it on my page here. All right, thanks a lot for watching. As always, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff, and stay safe.